Hey, what's up, guys? And welcome back to another weekly market analysis video. So, like I always say, it is very important, right, to watch these videos before market opens or even before you begin active trading within the trading week. So, this week, yeah, I'm here again to share with you what I think will be my directional bias. And the beautiful thing about this is I wouldn't just share my directional bias and go away. I'm going to do a little bit adapt where I'll be showing you what happened on Euro USD on the previous trading week, because price action was super crazy, right? But I will just explain everything when we get there. Okay, so real quick, I'll begin with gold, right? We will talk about just gold and Euro USD. So I'll quickly start with gold. Okay, so XAUUSD, and let's see what price is telling us for the upcoming trading week. So always you need to start from the higher time frame, right? So I'm going to start from the daily, right? I could have started from the weekly, but we have talked about the weekly time frame in previous weeks, like from last week and last 2 weeks, I think so. So even here on the daily, we did talk about the fact that we were expecting this low of the daily to be taken out. We can see that price has come into that level and it is kind of giving you a reaction to buy. But I will explain to you why you should be careful with this kind of trades. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we are bearish, and you remember from last week where I told you that price will be tanking all the way to the downside. Okay, and we are still in that bias. We are still bearish on gold. Okay, so real quick, I'll step into H4 and I'll show you what H4 is doing. Okay, so here on the H4 time frame, we can see that the H4 is making what, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and lower lows. So personally, I'm bearish on the H4 on gold, right? It means that this is my supply zone that I will mark on the H4 time frame, right? To expect any retracement. I won't say expect, but then I'll just mark this down in case price decides to come into this H4 supply and make a push to the downside. Why not? You're gonna capitalize on it. If price decides to break, then you know that we have switched the H4 structure. We've switched from a bearish one to a bullish one. But then it is highly unlikely to see this H4 break to the upside, right? But then I'll just stick to whatever is happening right now. So we have this supply zone and we have this low to be taken out. Okay, so I know that people look at this block in here as a demand zone to look for trades, right? But this to me is not a so valid point of interest to look for bigger pushes to the upside. Okay, you could have gotten some 1 to 10, 1 to 15 into certain levels, right? But then personally, I don't like looking at this kind of point of interest like this. And within the week, I'm going to make a video and explain to you why you shouldn't be looking for point of interest in areas like this. Okay, in areas like that, you can see prices making what, lower highs, lower lows like that. So you shouldn't be looking for point of interest in these areas. I will make a video within the week and I will explain to you why it is so. But this time around, because it is H4 time frame, yes, like I said, you can get some cool pushes to the upside, right? Giving you some good risk to reward ratio. Okay, so real quick, we've defined our H4 structural leg. And yeah, within this H4 structural leg, if you can't see, right, I can see. And I know that this H4 structural leg was built by 3 H1 structural legs, okay? And we can see that price is reacting from this point of interest. If I step into the H1, you're going to see that, and we will refine that point of interest to just this block, okay? And we can see that price has come into that. Okay, so H4, we are bearish. H1, we are also what, bearish, right? So personally, I know that we have a lot of room in here to get to this H4 supply. That's fine. But once we are tapping into this H1 supply, I'll also look and see how price reacts, right, within these zones on lower time frames, probably M5 or M15, to see if price has any tendency to push to the downside. So yeah, it is okay to look for sales in here, but you need to wait for that lower time frame to tell you that. Okay, so real quick, stepping into M15, there is nothing much here on M15, just the fact that we had this high, right, that created this low on M15, and we've had that high taken out. So M15, we are bullish, right? Tapping into a level of supply of H1, okay? And if price gives you any, intention to sell, you know what it means. It means that M15 is what is retracing. However, I wouldn't look forward to, buy right in here, because again, this low wouldn't be valid for me. It will be like what I shared with you, or what I showed you from, the H4 time frame, okay? So yeah, on the 5-minute time frame, let's see if price is telling us anything about selling to the downside, okay? So real quick, if I come to the 5-minute time frame, this is what I see, right? Here on the 5 minute, I have this last low that created this high, right? Whatever I'm seeing in here is just internal structure of this leg, okay? So this is one leg with internal structure, okay? And even with the internal structure, you realize that this is the last low that created this high, okay? And we can see that that low has been respected. It hasn't been breached yet. So it tells me that whatever is happening in here is just internal substructures making lower highs and lower lows, right? What it also means is that we can have price coming into this level like this and continuing with what's the bearish order flow, which would then lead to a break or structure of this low, right? So if it leads to that break or structure of this low, then that is when I'll start looking for sells to the downside. Until this low is taken out, I have no intention of looking for sales, right? What it also means is that, we can have this level still respecting, and price will make a push all the way to the upside to even cause this H1 structural H1 supply zone to break, right? Then we'll be heading straight into H4. So these are the possible scenarios. Another scenario is that when the market opens, we can have price, retracing a little bit more deeper into this level right in here, right? And then if this level decides to hold, then we can push all the way to the upside into that H4 supply zone above. And if we get that H4 supply zone, if we get into that H4 supply zone and price tells you that it wants to sell, why not? You pick up the sell and you shoot your shot to the downside all the way to take out this low and, this last low from the higher time frame, okay? That low which I showed you. And then if I step back onto, the higher time frames like H4, you remember this liquidity pool that I told you was marked from 2 years ago. Yes, so all these are confluences to, expect a sell on gold. So personally, with whatever is happening here on gold, there is nothing solid that is being built up, right? I just need to wait for the market to open and see a little bit of price action. Then I can decide that this is what is going to happen, this is what is going to happen, and these are the kind of trades I'm going to look for. But then right now, I'm bearish on gold, right? Until this high of H4 is taken out, then I can switch my intent, okay? So real quick, let's step onto Euro USD and let me show you what is happening on Euro USD, okay? Okay, so before we step onto whatever I'll be looking at for the upcoming trading week, right? Let me show you what happened on Euro USD last week, or the previous trading week. So last week from our analysis video, I shared with you that from this high to this low was the daily swing leg, and it was also the H4 swing leg. So we had the H4 and the daily sharing the same structural level, and I was telling you that if that is the case, then it means that this leg was built by lower time frames or intraday time frames like M15, okay? So I wouldn't have any need going to H4. I'll just quickly step into M15, and it was super crazy, right? It was super crazy. Myself, I didn't get so much trades, right? So what actually happened the previous trading week? So this was the last low that created this high, right, of M15. So M15 was bullish, and then we had this break of structure to the downside. So M15 was bearish, and it was within this M15 leg that price was hovering, right? You can see price was just within this M15 leg, and it was super crazy, okay? And I even said it in my Telegram group that, you know what, will you be surprised if I tell you that price is moving just within one M15 leg? And yeah, it was mind-blowing. So personally, I had, 1 5-hour trade from here to the downside, right? It was a dull week for me, and there were some opportunities that were presented, but I missed them because I had to, hold some private sessions. And yeah, it was okay with me. Those are the kind of sacrifices that I need to make to see my clients also succeed. I don't like to call them students. I like to call them clients because some of them are even older than me. Okay. So so personally, I had one trade in here, which was like 1:5, and it was just a counter trend trade to the 5 minute time frame, right? And I didn't get any trade in here. There was no trade for me. I think there was also a good trade in here, but I wouldn't have taken it because it was against my rules, right? And there was also another one in here. So personally, all what I was looking out for was for this low to be taken out. And I even shared it in last week's analysis that this was a big supply zone, right? And if you refine that, you're going to get two supply zones, which was refined on M5. Okay, so this one got breached. I think, yeah, I took an L in here, right? I took an L in here, and yeah, price came in here. There was no solid confirmation for me to sell, and so I missed every trade that happened in here. And there was one confirmation in here, but because of sessions, private sessions, I had to miss that one also, and it was good for me. But all what I knew was I need price to take out this M15 low, and that was exactly what happened, right? So yeah, on the 1st of September, that was I think Thursday or so, I also had another trade in here. I think, yeah, either in here or one of these places, and it was like 1:6, right? And it was okay. And my biggest trade came in yesterday, right, which was a Friday. It was right in here, and that was the trade that was showing up during my introduction. Let me show you that. So it was this crazy trade. It was this crazy sell right in here, right? And believe me, sometimes I like to take risk. I took this trade without a stop loss. It was two positions. I had to split my risk and put 50% risk here and 50% on the top, this one. So you can see I have three lines, 1, 2, 3. So one here with my stop loss and another one in here. And yeah, like I said, no stop loss, right? I just like to risk. And this is one of the setups that I love, right? It is a serious setup that I love, but then I can't share all of these to the public, right? It's meant for my private people, okay, my private clients. So I'm not going to share why I had this entry, but you can backtest that, okay? And I've used this technique to take a lot of good trades. An example is what you are seeing on the screen, which I took around 24th August or something like that. It was the same thing. There was a sell in here. This sell I didn't take. Like I said, I missed it because of private session, right? And this one, I picked this up. So this is still running without a stop loss. So I'll share the screenshot on the left side of the screen. So this is like 30R, right? And it's currently running at 20R. Yeah, it's still running. It's still running. So yeah, so let's quickly look at what will be my outlook for the upcoming trading week. Okay, so as usual, you're going to start from the higher time frame. Okay, so on the daily time frame, again, on the daily time frame, let me clean all of these. Where are you? Okay, so on the daily time frame, this was the high that created this low. Okay, and again, this same leg is the same leg for H4. So H4 and daily are sharing the same structural level, and I'm still on the bias that this lows will be taken out. Okay, this low should be taken out. Okay, so H4 daily, we are bearish, right? And like I said, if that is the case where we have daily and H4 sharing the same structural level, it means that those legs or those internal structure will be built by lower time frames, right? And so real quick, I know that this was the high that created this low of M15, and we've had a new high that created a new low. Okay, it was a wick, but I consider wick breakout structure. So we had a breakout structure in here. Okay, and so I'll be working within this leg, right? So this is what I'm looking at, right? I have 2 points of interest. One was in here, which I personally shared with one of my clients. If I see the screenshot, I'll show it on the left side of the screen. So I have this point of interest, and I have this one also, right? And I step into lower time frames to, pick a trade in here, to refine and pick a trade in here. So personally, I'm looking for this lows to be taken out, okay? But I can see something in here, like an internal break of structure, and probably there will be something in here which has not been mitigated yet, but I still stand by the fact that this lows should be taken out. And so here on Euro USD, there is nothing so solid that is really building up. All what I'm waiting for is for these lows to be taken out. If price decides to reverse in here, probably after taking out the Asian low and tapping into probably a point of interest on lower time frames in here, and it decides to reverse and rather come into this upper POI before selling back down, why not? I'll have to wait for this high of the lower time frames to be taken out. So if I step into M5, you're gonna see that M5 we are bearish, aligning with what? With M15. Daily we are bearish, H4 we are bearish, M15 we are bearish, and M5 we are also bearish. So if we have any intentions to buy, we will need to see this high taken out. Apart from that, whatever I'll be looking at will just be what? Sells all the way to the downside. Okay, so yeah, nothing solid building up. You can see the same thing on gold, nothing solid building up. So the perfect thing to do is to wait for price to the market to open and show you really, really good stuff. But then if you look at this in here, you're gonna see that we have, let me take it to M15. You're gonna see that we have this equal lows in here, right in here. So this wick and this wick, they form equal lows, and that's liquidity. Okay, so this is also another confluence that tells me that price will definitely tank to the downside. Okay, and when this low is taken, I wouldn't just say this low is taken and then I should be looking for retracement or counter trend trades. I will expect this low also, which is the low of the daily and the H4, also to be taken out like this before I can start looking for any trades. So I can promise you that the upcoming trading week is going to be a game of patience, right? If you don't have patience, you're gonna miss, or you're gonna take unnecessary losses. So yeah, a little advice: wait for price to build up within the week, right? Then you can take good trades. And I hope that if I get a little bit time, right, I'm going to do some midweek analysis to share with you whatever price may come up with, right? Just to share with you the development so far when price builds anything up. So yeah, this is where I'll be ending the analysis video. If you found value in this video, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section. And also, I just want you to know that I love you, because I am just 3 subscribers away to hitting 2,000 subs, and thank you guys so much. So yeah, I'll see you in another educative video just to make you a better trader. Bye bye.